good day, guys. This is Dr. Cool. Yes. Welcome back. In today's video edition here, we're going to talk about the feasibility of the MSED, that is microsonic energy device. So I'm going to give
Chikumbutso's microsonic energy powered device.
you a few instances on how this very system works, this very device works. But I can't go down to the nitty-gritties, just to elaborate and prove to you guys how it works. Then be my guests. A lot of you guys can be able to pick up from there because things are changing and it's changing really fast. Nobody expected this to work. I mean, that is the whole reason why the whole internet space is on fire. The microsonic energy device, just the single device that cooked the entire Western world, and the energy industry, the oil industry is about to be upended. So this device took this guy just more than 3 years. Did I say 3 years? About 20 years plus since 2000. Since 2003. He's been working on it. So relentlessly, and it hasn't been very easy at all. It could be anything but easy. It's not one of them. So how does this very device work? The first thing first about the microsonic energy device, you guys have to understand, even the self-powered generator in every system. I want to explain this in a layman's understanding. Oh, a lot of you guys are looking at me. I'm sweating really hard. Yes, that's why we're talking about the monopoly of the energy industry that is crippling a lot of people's life, making life a living hell for a lot of people. So you can imagine this. I've paid the right money to get electricity, but I don't have it. So the schedules when they're going to give us power and when they will not. Contrary to a lot of you guys who are in the Western world, you get pretty much electricity every single day. You wake up to see electricity. Well, that is not the same thing going down in Africa and some other part of the world. So you guys can see and feel the immense potential that lies in the microsonic energy device, as much as the invention of our new celebrity Maxwell Chikumbutso, Sungolani Maxwell Chikumbutso. How does the microsonic energy device works? This is not going to be like a show where you have a politician inside the room and you're asking him 20 questions, but you won't get an answer for one. That is not how this is going to be. So let me explain this. And that's going to be in contrast with the product, which a lot of you guys have been confused with, including the PR Nigeria, terrible, I must say, and some others, fake journalism, that have been paid to discredit this work. You can see it here. You can purchase it at Amazon for around $499. However, when you see that of Maxwell Chikumbutso somewhere, which I'm going to place it here if I remember, they have two different brands. Yes, people are going to say they're branded, but it's the same thing. No, that is the prototype. You don't know what prototype is. At the first initial stage of some kind of huge technology like this, you don't go full scale into producing it. So you have to produce the prototype to attract investors. That is exactly what it is. So in order not to start from square one, you have to buy what is already existing and strip off the barrier percentage. Let's say like, strip it to like 99% off and just leave that 1% that is there. That is more than enough to make the statement. So how does it work with that 1%? That 1% is going to be literally like this very barrier which I'm holding right now. But it's not going to be up to this very barrier, because this barrier is not even up to 5 amps. So if it is not up to 5 amps, how will the 5 amps barrier? There is barrier. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. There is barrier inside the self-powered generator. That is what a lot of you guys want to hear. It seemed like I forgot to plug my microphone. Oh shit. Oh, but I'm long for the ride. So that's what a lot of you guys want to hear. There is barrier inside the self-powered generator. However, the misconception which a lot of you guys have is what I want to clear out. The battery there is not there to power your home. The battery there is not there to do the work of the MSED, microsonic energy device. No, the battery that is there to power up the microsonic energy device so it can be able to harvest the radio frequency that is readily available naturally in the environment. Then it goes back to charge the same battery so that battery will never run out of juice. Then it taps from the battery to harness the power to harvest the radio frequency. When it harvests it, then it sends the power. It now serves as a generator. Remember, your generator have alternator, right? When it gets started from the battery, then the alternator pick up and keep charging the battery. So this microsonic energy device has some sort of like alternator system that charges back the battery and doesn't allow the battery to run down. Because if it run down, it's gonna shut off. It's not gonna have power to harvest the radio frequency that is readily available. I hope this is clearly understood. Now, when it harvests this, the microsonic energy device is now the one that is powering your device, not the battery. Remember how I started it? That they bought the same case, right? But I have to strip it and remove a lot of things. Like most of you who already have it, I should have got some people, maybe. I'm going to clip a video of people who have reviewed the Brownie power station. It has a charging port. Now I'm also going to clip video somewhere around here. Okay. A video of Maxwell Chikumbutso the very day he was unveiling this very device to the vast majority population that attended the groundbreaking invention. And
like this. Yeah. You know, I think one thing that we need to educate our fellow Zimbabweans is that in many cases, when we are developing products, we don't start from scratch. We either buy some of the components over the counter, or can someone come and hold this for me? Yeah, so that people. You start as a prototype. What that means is you don't start by developing the end product. You start by looking wherever you can get what you think it can work. Then you test. Right now, when we did these machines, we liked the design. I saw a lot of people were saying Broadway or whatever, solar panel. We just liked the case. It was something that we had in mind, especially for the rural community. Something that is dust-proof, waterproof IP67, and also portable, that even a farmer can just carry around. So I want you to tell me, I don't know where I think we wanted something to test. I don't know. Can we have something to connect? Okay, we'll power the fridge with this one. As you can see, show everyone, the machine, it tells you how much power is getting in. It has got in and out. It's telling you how much radio frequency it's converting right now into pure energy. So I don't know, maybe we put a solar somewhere. Yeah. So people were misinformed. We just liked the design, and we bought the design. This company is not Broadwell. It's a company which is found in Shenzhen. Broadwell, they're just buying and using their name. So talk to this company and they agree to license us their cover, then we put it for those reasons. So this is a greener power off-grid machine. We've got 600 watts and 1000 watts. We decided to go smaller when I was talking to the president.
Okay guys, you guys just saw it right there. His the self-powered generator live, it was charging without opening the cover. Now I'm gonna go ahead to show you the broad way so that we look at the fact and see the reality there, because the Broadway one, you can't charge it without opening the box. This one was charging without opening the box. So how is it getting the power? There is no electricity connected to it, and it is not having any solar panel open. The Broadway one has a solar panel when it's flipped open. So I'm gonna bring up the Broadway one open.
It's about 54 dB ambient noise, kind of like talking level. I do have to raise my voice tiny bit in order to talk over it, and it just sounds like a small box fan. We got 539 watt hours. We get a usable capacity of 87.7%. This is really good, especially when I see some bad power station have only 70% usable capacity. I'm gonna plug the AC charger in, charge it back up. The adapter is 120 watts. It's drawing 116.9 watts. And we'll charge this back up from 0 to 100% again. That took 718 kilowatt hours, or 116.8% of the capacity of the power bank. The 16.8%, it's due to the inefficiencies of the AC adapter. This is pretty typical when you charge a power bank, so you should expect about a 20% loss. From the 12-volt car adapter port, I'm able to discharge 571.7 watt hours. That's 93.1% of the stated capacity. Using the combination of this charge port and a car adapter, you'll only be able to charge at a rate of about 40 watts. Let me try this in the car. Plug that in. It could take up to 120 watts from this safely, but the circuitry inside seems to be limiting at less than 3 amps. I have a studio light over here. I can shine on it. When I put this close, it starts turning on the solar charging, but it says 8 watts. I can slowly turn the light away, and you expect the wattage to decrease, but instead it just goes from 8 to nothing. This is actually not a very strong light, and I don't expect 8 watts to go into the battery. So there's a granularity issue. I don't think it's charging at 8 watts at all. More like it initiated the circuitry, and that's about it. If I put a second studio light on it, right, it should be really bright, and it still stays at 8 watts. I have a high bay 150 watt light here. This should give off about 20,000 lumens, equivalent to light sunlight. And if I try to shine it evenly on here, okay, we get 10 watts. So it starts off at 8. Let me increase the light. The most I can put in here is 10 watts, it seems. So it looks like if you get anything, it just shows 8 watts. But if you go over 8 watts, it'll start reading correctly. The internals. I removed the battery. This is the charge cable. They use this to charge it, and this one to discharge it into the AC inverter. We see it uses these cylindrical cells, and if you peel this back a little bit, 4 cells in parallel, and then they daisy chain 8 of them in series. We can just measure the voltage. It should be around 24 volts. 26. Peeling back the protection film, you can see the balance lines here. There's a positive terminal, negative terminal, and 7 leads for in between the cells. In-house BMS, it's an 8 in series 40 amp BMS. On the back snakes out 1 temperature probe, and I like how the...
Okay, that's just enough. I want to point out 3 things, 3 factors which some of you guys might not notice here. The Brownie power bank, or the solar what do you call it again, generator, it doesn't have the display futuristic of that of Maxwell Chikumbutso microsonic energy device, which I'm gonna pull up right now so I'll show you guys the difference. Because in that of Maxwell Chikumbutso is displaying but the frequency is harvesting and how many hertz frequency which is converting it to. But the Broadway one is not showing you anything like that. Even when it was using solar, the light, or plugged in, it's only showing you charging. I'm just comparing it so that you guys can be able to see it. Okay, now this is the microsonic energy device right before you. You can see on the right corner, the left corner shows the battery charging. On the right corner, you can see how many volts and how many hertz and how many energy is actually harvesting from the frequency and converting it to pure electricity. So this very display which you can see here doesn't exist anywhere else in the world aside in the microsonic energy powered device, such as the self-powered generator. You can equally see it possibly, I don't know if it's going to integrate it like this in your car, but that of car is more concealed than here. So but let me state something clear here. I didn't even have to go through this whole process in order to know that it was real. So it is really deafening that a lot of white folks, and the terrible PR in Nigeria and the Chikanza or chimpanzee don't have any clue concerning engineering or how things work about electronics and electrical, just cooking up fake shit. I'm certain that they are being paid by the Western people, Western big corporation, to discredit it in order to suppress the invention. Now you guys are seeing the real deal.
This very device to the vast majority population that attended the uh, unveiling of the groundbreaking invention. And that is just the tip on the iceberg, right? He was showing it around to people. There are a lot of dignitaries that come over to witness this very groundbreaking invention, including dignitaries from elite universities. Then, yeah, we have a pastor there because this is divinely inspired. So you gotta have pastor or reverend father, anyone, all right, suitable. That this guy has been working with people who have assisted him one way or the other, and people who have even much more destructive skepticism more than you guys. Because yes, to be honest, that's why I said this is unethical device. This is not your typical. This is not ethical device. This is a device from astral planes, and that is why it is impossible. We perceive it as impossible because our brain, our thinking has been cooked with conjectures of science and physics. So when this very invention came, it defies. It just cooked every other thing out there, getting the American scientist and engineer roasted like barbecue. And that is the most interesting part of the whole thing, because in my own word, I often say, how do you bring some sort of unethical, groundbreaking invention for ethical people to validate it? It is stupid, right? So, the not submitting it to scientific community for scrutiny, well, that doesn't even ring a bell. Why? Because Coca-Cola never did. And that is why we have two guys on the Coca-Cola, the other guy and the other guy, that don't see in a broad daylight, don't board the same flight, don't attend the same board meeting. Haven't you heard about that strange story? It's because they didn't patent their product, because through the process, the rigorous process of the so-called scientific community or atrocity, your entire work, your invention is at stake of getting stolen. It has 99% chance of getting stolen. At the process of replication, where you're telling them how this works, maybe before you even get out of that very place, you're hearing someone, maybe on the news that he have discovered the self-powered technology. And he might just announce it right there. And he'll get straight up patent. And that is your life work gone. What are you going to do about it? It is impossible to retrieve. He patented it. Why is it going to be easy for him to be patented? Because he wants it to be patented and silenced. That is what the big oil corporation does, and big industries, that it threatens their own businesses. You're talking about automobile, Shell, Chevron, BP, ExxonMobil's, Six Sisters. You haven't heard about those guys? Well, you need to dig it up. Those are the people that control the Western world politics, leadership. So they are the ones that decide who lives, who dies, what stays, what doesn't. However, why we're having a little bit of more like grace here, even after poisoning Maxwell Chikumbutso, is because there is already a platter on the ground. There is already something on the ground that is about the same thing. The Western world are pushing for greener energy. However, they never thought in their deepest philosophy or imagination that it will turn out this way. I heard a news line which is talking about the fossil fuel industry. Investors are risking their stakes of 2.8 trillion dollars in fossil fuel reserved assets. I think maybe they don't want to talk about it, but we are going to talk about it. I don't think it's going to be far from the self-power technology. That is just the truth. So I think I've did explain it to you guys. Now I'm going to also explain a little bit more, where I'm going to show the microsonic energy device somewhere here, where Maxwell Chikumbutso presented it first time to the audience. And if you look at it, there is something hidden there, right? In order to prove it to people who came to that very unveiling program that was really under a heavy scrutiny due to security concerns. You don't want to invite a hitman into that show and it becomes bloody. No. So it was under a secure location, undisclosed actually, due to security concerns, due to what has been happening to Maxwell Chikumbutso and his teams. So I want to say something. He caged that microsonic energy device inside a glass. And that glass, there is only few wires to give power out. And that's it. However, within the time he was unveiling it, which is right here, the video should be playing right now, there is only one tiny hole which you can use to just push the button to power up the device, and automatically, you're seeing it right there, is charging. There is no any solar connected to it. This was a live demonstration on the very day which this very device and other self-powered technologies were being showcased at the event of the launch in order to attract the investors who will fast pedal the process. And there is something which a lot of questions which some of you guys are asking. Why is it that it is no one is already showing it on YouTube? Why is it that no successful person has actually come out to say, hey, there is something you guys have to understand. YouTube is a small community compared to the world at large, especially the location of the microsonic, the self-powered car, the self-powered bike. There are a lot of people who acquire this very device here, and I'm not certain that they are YouTube freaks. I'm not sure that they are interested in about to get views. Also, underscoring the security concerns that has been following this very groundbreaking invention up. If you are the one, will you really want to risk it and put it on the YouTube when everyone haven't even shown it? You're going to make yourself a target, a hotspot that is going to attract the mass command to start tracing every call you make and finding you in common on a live view. This is not joke, guys. I'm not putting fear inside you guys. What I'm trying to say here is that in future, when it has gotten a massive adoption, yes, you can bet it's gonna start flooding all over the YouTube. Now, for a lot of you guys who are asking, why is it that it's not yet available so rampant? Come on. Elon Musk Model Y and Model 3, the prototype was shown in 2016. You know, when it hit market and started selling officially, it was about 6 years later. So why so serious? Why are you in a rush of grabbing a microsonic energy device or whatsoever to start having a feel of show-free energy device or, you know, self-powered car? We all want to have it as much as, in fact, for me, we want to have all of it. I guess you can say that I'm greedy on that aspect. Well, but a lot of people will want to really have a lot. And believe me, the way he put the price at $15,000, some of the big guys will want it customized to have supersonic speed. In fact, incredible performance you will never think of. You know, maybe Tesla plant could just be scratching the surface. Or Bugatti Veyron could just be, you know, could be doing one work in its fullest speed capacity, top speed capacity. So guys, literally this is how the microsonic energy device works. Now, if I'm gonna cap it, I'm gonna completely round up this very show here before we go on a live broadcast. I want to go on a live broadcast today so that I can entertain some questions and we go over from there. Is if it have battery, yes, it does have battery, but like I said, it's streamlined to like removing 99% of the battery, so that you just have only small battery that's going to power up the device. Now, there is also a last video which I'm going to put somewhere here. Yes, that video was a video where Foster Gamble, who is Foster Gamble? I think he's a millionaire who owns a research institute, I think somewhere in San Francisco in US, or in some part of US. I like what that researcher did, which he said it took him quite for like months before he get deep to find the guy, and when he did saw the device, it healed his mind. That is a white guy talking. Since a lot of you Western guys often believe that anything that comes from Africa is a scam. And I like that narrative, so we should start thinking that anything that comes from US could be bomb or looting. I hope you guys, so when we start seeing any US person, we should start feeling that he could have, they are mass shooters, they are bombers, they are looters, they are destabilizers. I think the picture paints it perfectly well. So in one of my words, I often say, why not those who are criminal? We put criminal as the title. You know, criminal Donald Trump, if he's a criminal. I'm just using it for instance, you know. Or destructive killer Barack Obama. Okay. Scammer, you know, you can hush puppy. It's a popular thing which you saw floating on the internet on every mainstream media. And we can talk about movie magician India. Okay. Then we talk about get it done industrialized or fake product China. Sorry, the fake product. It is actually due to people's demand, you know, people who don't have money. Chinese does have a very powerful product. So guys, this is where I'm going to be ending. I'll see you guys on the live show. Bye for now. See you guys later. So don't forget what I told you, and this is how it's going to be. So Whatever I'm telling you right now is based on my own critical analysis of the situations. And be my guest, gentlemen and ladies, all the distinguished guests present, both the ones in the spiritual realm in astral, the ones present here which you cannot see. I hereby call this very program off. Thank you for joining, those who join us in spirit and those who join us live in physical forms. Those that join us without forms, thank you for participating and making this very program successful. Why did I say that? Because the fourth paradox of Maxwell Chikumbutso, you need to watch that very video. That is what it's all about.